Peace and love, you magnificent wonders with a spiritual level of being. Nathan here from a spiritual level of being, and you have a spiritual level of being. And today I want to discuss some weird Bible stories, part 2. Specifically, we're going to be starting about Ham and Noah, and why Noah cursed his son Ham, more specifically cursed his son, as God was also big on punishing the descendants of those who sin for 3 generations. So Noah's probably thought, oh, if God does it, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to curse my son's generations for 3 generations or whatever. It doesn't specifically say that, but it's along those lines. Now, in some stories, or traditions I should say, sorry, is that Noah accidentally discovered alcohol. And in this story, it's basically the first hangover in Jewish sources. So, in mythology wise. Now, this isn't quite true as well. It's actually El who is the first hangover story, as El needs help from his council of other gods. So this story isn't quite as old as that. But either way, it's meant to be the first hangover of humankind. Now, in this tradition, there are many excuses why Ham was cursed. In some stories, that is because he's seen his father naked and gossiped about his father, so he shamed his father. So this was seen as a sin. Some traditions will say he even raped his father, though this is unlikely. Now we're going to actually read this. This is in Genesis 9:18, Noah and his sons. The sons of Noah who went out of the boat were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Ham was the father of Canaan. These 3 sons of Noah were the ancestors of all the people on earth. Makes no sense, but Noah, who was a farmer, was the first man to plant a vineyard. After he drank some of the wine, he became drunk, took off his clothes, and lay naked in his tent. When Ham, the father of Canaan, saw that his father was naked, he went out and told his 2 brothers. Then Shem and Japheth took a robe and held it behind them on their shoulders. They walked backwards into the tent and covered their father, keeping their faces turned away as not to see him naked. When Noah was sober again and learnt what his younger son had done to him, he said, "A curse on Canaan," so he cursed his son. "He will be a slave to his brothers. Give praise to the Lord, the God of Shem. Canaan will be the slave of Shem. May God cause Japheth to increase. May his descendants live with the people of Shem. Canaan will be the slave of Japheth." After the flood, Noah lived for 350 years and died at the age of 950. Now, again, this whole thing about cursing descendants is a trait of God, so Noah's copied, basically. Though, again, this is just a man-made story. Now, what father would condemn their own sons for something so simple? Like, yeah, all right, he seen him passed out naked, and he told his sons. So what? You're going to curse him and his generations and tell that his sons and their sons are going to be slaves. This is an immoral story, basically. Now, this story of alcohol, basically, is a way of saying that alcohol is basically bad. It leads to chaos. It leads to families being divided, is the moral of this story, basically. Though the morals are questionable here. Now, like all man-made stories, especially with the Bible stories, they're all questionable. This being said, Noah and his descendants were meant to be ones who out to please God. So basically pleasing a father figure. So this is about you shaming your parents. So again, this was seen as a sin. So this is the actual meaning of this story. It didn't literally happen. It's meant to be taken symbolic. The symbolic reason is, well, meaning is don't shame your parents, love your parents, don't hate them, basically, and fear God. Otherwise, you'll be punished as your father will punish you. Though, in Yahweh's case, a lot worse. So, peace and love, everyone. I love you all. Connect to all my mind and soul. Namaste.